J. Trump. Hell yeah, brothers! It seems like our perfect and humble Führer, King Doland, has locked in yet another W. No, but for real, Donald Trump, I don't believe him, but he's calling out Israel for starving the Palestinians to death, right? Which they're doing. And he's saying, he's like, we're going to set up food distribution sites. They're going to be American, and we're going to be feeding those kids. I see those kids. They're starving. It's bad. It's crazy. And here's the thing. I hate King Doland. You know, we all hate King Doland. But the shit that Israel's doing, the genocide that Israel's committing, the children starving to death, if you saw my previous video, that has to take fucking precedent. Okay? And I ain't saying the enemy of my enemy is my friend, because Donald is a fucking, he's not just the enemy, he's the king enemy. You know what I'm saying? But for this moment, we can say that Israel is so fucked. Israel is so cruel, so evil, so demented, that Donald Trump is calling him out for being fucking crazy. Don't take my word for it. We got it on video. So first, let me break this down for you if you don't know a little bit about what's going on right now. The Palestinians, the Gazans, they're reaching the end stage here of this genocide. They are starving to death in mass. If I got the numbers correctly, I believe about a quarter of all of the people who starved to death in Gaza over the past, since the conflict started, since the genocide started, a quarter of all the people who starved to death in Gaza have starved to death in the past 10 fucking days. So it's endgame here. It's a nightmare. They're begging for food. Problem is, Israel is setting up like Hunger Games style cornucopias, right? Piles of food, flour, rice, sugar, you know, all the things that you need to survive, medical stuff, right? And they're putting fences around it that nobody can get into, and they got snipers and machine guns set up. And anybody who tries to get over that fence, darted, dead, doof. Right? And then they're setting up these, they're like opening up the gates and everybody's flooding in. There's not enough food for everybody, right? And meanwhile, Israel's also claiming that fucking Hamas is stealing the food. Meanwhile, they can't provide a single piece of evidence of Hamas stealing the food. Perhaps it's because you don't allow any international journalists into the fucking war zone. Perhaps that's why. And you keep on killing all the Palestinian journalists. So we're going to start off with this Washington Post article, and then we're going to move into Trump. Before we do, hi, how are you? I'm Chris Valenti. Welcome to the Valenti VOD. I'm a douchebag from New York who majored in history, minored in political science, and I hate fascists. Please do me a favor and like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell. It costs you fuck all, and it helps me immensely. If you do want to support this channel financially, because this is real independent media, and I have never had a conversation with an advertiser, billionaire, or government, all you gotta do is donate to the channel financially. You can become a member for $5, get access to the Constitusi emotes. You can become a patron on Patreon. You can buy merch. New Constitusi merch coming out soon. Don't touch my Constitusi. You could also use the discount code below for ground news, and you can hit the thanks button and just send money to me. Other than that, let's dive right the fuck in.
Israel airdrops food into Gaza as starvation death rises.
Now here's the thing. You read that and you go, hey, Israel airdrops food. That's great. Not exactly. They airdropped like 7 pallets of food, like less than a truck's worth of food, scattered. People are fucking fighting over it because you don't have an actual aid distribution site. Like people get desperate when they're hungry. And the pallets are hitting people in the fucking air. It's delusional. It's like putting a Band-Aid on a fucking bullet wound and saying, hey. Anyway. Israel has begun to airdrop food into Gaza, Israel said on Saturday, as deaths from starvation in the besieged enclave spread this week and international criticism of Israel's restrictions on aid reached a crescendo. The Israeli military said 7 pallets of flour, sugar, and canned goods, which appeared to be less than a truckload of food, was dropped Saturday night after a meeting led by Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and senior aides. Israeli troops will pause fighting on Sunday to allow for food distribution. All right, so here's the first thing. They think this is a flex. They think they're like, see, we're going to pause fighting to allow for food distribution. Fighting who? the fucking civilians who are starving to death and begging for food every day? You can't fucking feed them and fight Hamas at the same time? You're Israel. You have nukes. You are the best army on planet, the most humble and perfect democracy. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. We're going to pause the fighting and allow food distribution. Shut the fuck up. Anyway. And assist UN agencies in their aid to deliver effort. The military said Israel will also turn on the electricity to Gaza's only functioning water desalination plant. Again, not a flex. Because why is it off? And some dumb fuck is going to go,
well, wait a minute, brother. You want Hamas to have drinking water?
Unironically, yes. Like, brother, I unironically think everybody on Earth deserves water. I don't. And even if you fuck you. There's like one Hamas for every 1,000 people. What are we doing? What a crazy Israel shut the plant in March, depriving Gaza the ability to make its own potable water. All right. We have to move to Trump. This is a 6-minute video here of Trump talking about the humanitarian needs in Gaza. But at the end here, there's a part at the very end, and we're going to get to it, where he literally says it's crazy. What they're doing is crazy. And that goes back to my point in the beginning. Donald Trump, kid fucker, is calling this shit crazy, which means it's got to be crazy. This guy doesn't have empathy.
We also discussed, obviously, Gaza. And I think before we get to phase 2, which is, what's going to happen afterwards, we want to get the children fed. We made a contribution a week ago of $60 million, all going into food. We only hope the food goes to...
Massive W from Donald there for being like, we need to give food to these kids. Yes. Here's the thing. You also just burned 500 tons of food. 1 million pounds of taxpayer-funded food. You burned it. You incinerated it. So I don't trust you. I also don't trust that there's going to be American food distribution centers. I don't trust any of this fucking shit. But wait. King Doland, he goes in and out, in and out. He goes WL, WL, WL. Here we go. Ready? Watch this. He's going to go from W to L.
The people that need it, because so much, as you know, when you do something there, it gets taken by Hamas.
There's his L. Completely... not factual. No proof whatsoever that Hamas is stealing food from the aid distribution sites.
Somebody, but it gets taken. But and we're prepared to help. We want to help. It's a terrible situation. The whole thing is terrible. It's been bad for many years. But it's great to hear you feel the same way that I do. We have to help on a humanitarian basis before we do anything. We have to get the kids fed. So we've been sending in a lot of food. A lot of the food that's been going there has been sent by the United States.
Problem is they're not getting the food, Dolan. The problem is Israel will not give them the food. Israel wants them to starve, Dolan. You need to understand that, like, even if there's a shred of humanity left inside of you, Israel doesn't give a fuck about that, dog. Israel doesn't give a fuck about that. Now, here's the thing. I think this is all puppet play. This motherfucker is complicit in the genocide. I think it's all fucking smoke and mirrors right now. I think this is all smoke and mirrors.
I spoke yesterday with the president of the European Union, Ursula, who was terrific also on the subject.
Because the problem is he'll call it crazy, he'll say it's messed up, he'll say it's fucked up, but never in a million years would he condemn Benjamin Netanyahu. I mean, motherfucker has a warrant for his arrest. He's a war criminal, and Trump invites him into Mar-a-Lago like he's Jeffrey fucking Epstein. Oh God.
She's going to play a big role also in helping us. So we have a good group of countries that are going to help with the humanitarian needs, which is food, sanitation, and some other things. It's very difficult to deal with Hamas. As I said, we got a tremendous amount of hostages out, but it would take place in drips and drabs. You'd get 10, you get 5, you get 2, you'd get 10, 12. We get 12 one time. Many of them would come to the White House, and they were so thankful. But I always said, when you get down to the final 10 or 20, you're not going to be able to make a deal with these people because they use them as a shield. And when they give them up, they no longer have a shield. And the people of Israel feel so strongly about the hostages. Some people would take a different view, but
He's about to talk about himself here. He goes, he's about to say some people would say fuck the hostages. Some people would say just fucking bomb them. I wouldn't say that. Like, brother, we know who you're talking about.
feel so strongly about the hostages. So that's an ongoing process. Hamas has become very difficult to deal with in the last couple of days because they don't want to give up these last 20 because they think as long as we have them, they have protection. But I don't think it can work that way. So I'm speaking to Bibi Netanyahu, and we are coming up with various plans. We're going to say it's a very difficult situation.
Brother just goes, the persecution of the Jews is terrible, so I'm going to speak to Adolf Hitler and come up with a plan. He's the one doing it.
He's the one doing it. He's the one doing it. What are we thinking? That's not gonna help.
If they didn't have the hostages, things would go very quickly. But they do, and we know where they have them in some cases, and you don't want to go riding roughshod over that area because that means those hostages will be killed. Now, there are some people that would say, well, that's the price you pay, but we don't like to say that. We don't want to say that. And I don't think the people of Israel want to say that either, which is pretty amazing. A lot of people would say, just get it done and whatever it is.
That's how I know that it's his belief, because he goes, a lot of people would say, just get it done. As soon as he starts playing the fucking accordion, he's lying, right? And he's lying about it being some people would say it. It's him. He probably did the accordion and he's going, why don't we just bomb them? Like, that's guaranteed what he fucking said. And then Netanyahu goes,
Donald, I've been bombing them since day one.
I'd also say speed might be better for the hostages. You go through, with speed, you may have a better chance because they're in deep trouble. They're in deep trouble. You saw October 7th, and you saw what the damage and the horror that they committed. People can't forget that. They tend to forget it, but they can't forget. That was one of the most evil things I've ever seen. And you just cannot forget that. So we're very much involved. The Prime Minister's involved. I'm involved. We're going to set up food centers, and we're going to do it in conjunction with some very good people.
see, this is where I call bullshit. I call bullshit that there's going to be some American-run food distribution center in Gaza. And also, what a way for Trump to potentially bring Americans into the conflict if Americans start dying in those food distribution centers, being either, most likely actually, killed by Israeli forces or Israeli bombs, and then blame that shit on Hamas. What a great way to pull America into the conflict.
And we're going to supply funds, and we just took in trillions of dollars. We got a lot of money, and we're going to...
Can I have some? Like, you keep saying we pulled in trillions of dollars. Meanwhile, nobody can afford fucking bread. Nobody can afford to buy a house, bro. Nobody can afford diddly shit.
Spend a little money on some food. And other nations are joining us. I know your nation's joining us. And we have all of the European nations joining us. And others also have called, and they want to be helpful. So we're going to set up food centers.
Where were you? You fucking assholes. You wait till you see the goddamn emaciated bodies. You wait until you see live footage of the still... You saw 4K 1080p live... Wait. You saw 4K 120 FPS footage of what used to be black and white still images. Holocaust victims. That's what you saw. And now... you're on board to help? Where the fuck have you and the rest of these European fucking leaders been for the past 2 years? You waited until the fucking bitter end. You waited until, if I don't criticize this now, my reputation is fucked. That's what you did. I gotta get my rage crystal. Thank you for the $2.
我们齐庆祝你齐上场.
All right, we're gonna be fine. We're gonna be fine.
And where the people can walk in and no boundaries. We're not going to have fences, and they can't. They see the food from 30 you would say, yards away, and they see the food. It's all there, but nobody's at it because they have fences set up that nobody can even get it. It's crazy what's going on over there.
Did you catch that? Donald Trump, this was my point in the beginning, fascist, evil, fat, orange, child fucker, just said, oh, I mean, what they're doing over there is crazy. For whether he means it or not, brothers, whether this is a distraction away from the Epstein case or whether it's like the last shred of humanity he has left, because maybe he saw the same footage that we saw of the emaciated babies, for you to get Donald Trump to call what you're doing crazy, Alligator Alcatraz, by the way, we built Alligator Alcatraz, and he's going, that's fucking crazy, dog. You got to be doing some whack-ass, evil-ass shit, dog. Doik. Don't you dare. Don't you dare bark. But like that ass, verbatim, on jaw.
Mr. President, just talks about setting up food.
Donald's Dachau goes stupid. Did you just come up with that? Instead of Alligator Alcatraz, Donald's Dachau. Oh, I'm using that, and you're getting no credit for it. Should have trademarked it.
In conjunction with other organizations.
Right.
You're talking about the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation or recognized aid agencies. How will this work?
Well, it's going to be working with the United States. We'll be helping with the food. You know, we have a lot of access to food. We got a lot of food ourselves, and we're going to bring it over there. We're also going to make sure that they don't have barriers stopping people. You know, you've seen the areas where they actually have food, and the people are screaming for the food, and they're 35, 40 yards away, and they won't let them because they have lines that are set up. And whether they're set up by Hamas or whoever, but they're very strict lines. So we have to
Bro, nothing is set up by Hamas, dog. Literally fucking nothing. I mean, Israel has bombed everyone to oblivion. I honestly, I find it hard to believe that Hamas still exists. Like, show me a Hamas member. Fucking show me one.
get rid of those lines. But we're going to be getting some good, strong food. We can save a lot of people. I mean, some of those kids that's real starvation stuff. I see it. And you can't fake that. So we're going to be even more involved. We did some airlifts before, some airdrops.
Yeah, the airdrops didn't work, Dolan. The airdrops didn't work, brother.
And the people are running for it. And the Prime Minister is going to help us. They're very effective with that. You've done that before, and for many, they've done that for 100 years very well. So it's not very hard to do, actually.
President Donald Trump telling
Okay. So there's that, and then I wanted to. That was the main point of this video, but I wanted to show you one other clip before we end this, which is just a hilarious moment where Donald Trump, without being asked, he goes, "I didn't even have the privilege to go to Epstein Island." Now, one might say, Chris, this has nothing to do with Israel. Oh, brother. Oh, I've got bad news for you. Mossad is at your front door. Hey! All right, watch.
That was it. I'm glad I did, if you want to know the truth. And by the way, I never went to the island, and Bill Clinton went there supposedly 28 times. I never went to the island, but Larry Summers, I hear, went there. He was the head of Harvard. And many other people that are very big people. Nobody ever talks about them. I never had the privilege of going to his island.
Pause. Yellow card. Word choice. Privilege. You. Huh? Freudian slip there, King Dolan. The privilege. I would like to point out one other thing. To go to that island is tier 10 in the friendship. You know, you meet Jeffrey Epstein, that's tier 1. Hi, how you doing? He doesn't tell you shit about what he's doing. Hi, how you doing? I'm Jeff. And then, you know, you get to know him a little bit. You hit tier 2, maybe you go out drinking together. Tier 3, you know, you're cheating on your wives together. Tier 4, you're fucking going to sex parties together. I don't know when you start introducing the kids in there, but going to the island is tier 10. Okay, but wait, it gets worse. It gets worse. Watch.
And I did turn it down, but a lot of people in Palm Beach were invited to.
You turned it down? That means you had the privilege of going to the island. Bro! $2, thank you. Did Epstein have APAC connections? I'm gonna hold you by the pubes when I say this. Epstein was Mossad. Brother, but first of all, you're saying I didn't have the privilege to go to the island. He invited me, but I didn't go. That's the privilege to go to the island. That's the privilege to go to the island. What the fuck are you saying? And again, I will refer to my first point, Your Honor. So if he invited you to the island, that means you were tier 10 friend. That means you've done everything else. Everything leading up to, hey, you want to come onto my fuck plane and head over to my rape island?
To his island. In one of my very good moments, I turned it down. I didn't want to go to his island. Yeah. And that was it.
Yeah, bullshit. Yeah, bullshit. All right. Crazy video. Whoopsie. If you're watching this live, you stay. If you're watching this pre-recorded on YouTube, thank you very much for watching to the end. You're a handsome boy and a beautiful girl and a beautiful, handsome them. Please leave a like, comment, subscribe, and the notification bell. Donate to the channel, and do me one other thing. One other favor. Click that video right over there. It's a banger. And I know bangers.